Hello there, what is going on, everybody? We've got some major Star Trek spoilers. We have an entire new expansion to talk about, plus a lot of new other stuff for all of the new expansions. But the big headliner here is Glory and Zeal is now officially spoiled at a recent Alliance event. Big thanks to Scott Pittner from the Star Trek Into the Unknown unofficial fan group for posting a lot of this stuff. These are a lot of photos from both Discord and from Facebook, and there's a lot to unpack. I've been kind of doing a lot of digital zooming and enhancing, and this was an event where we had some major spoilers. And it's a very exciting time. If you guys are new here to the channel, we talk a lot about Star Wars, Star Trek, Starship games, tabletop gaming, and I'd love to have you stick around. We're doing a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway right now. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on one of my videos to enter to win that. I'd love to hear what you are looking forward to out of all the stuff we're going to be talking about today. As you can see, Glory and Zeal has 4 ships. It's got a Negvar in there, which is going to give the Klingons some more stuff. It's also giving the Cardassians their introduction into the game with a Galore and also a transport in there as well, which is a little surprising. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit because I want to talk about this photo first. This is kind of one of the demo tables they had set up. It gives us, they were running demos, and also gives us a look at Rising Tensions over here on the side, as well as Glory and Zeal's sample box way up there in the corner. And then we also have the Bird of Prey expansion here. And I just have to take a moment to say, man, it is really nice to see this game have so much product kind of all in the pipe at the same time. It just feels good. It feels good that it feels like, the skids are greased, and now we're getting closer and closer. Rising Tensions should be coming out very soon, I think in the next month or two. And then, then the ship packs, and then Glory and Zeal, and then hopefully more stuff in between the bigger expansions, which is really exciting because there is also more stuff coming too. I mean, after Glory and Zeal, I want to say there was another expansion too called the Scars of Occupation, which is also supposed to be coming. So really cool stuff. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the spoilers for Rising Tensions because there's stuff in here that we don't know about yet. Now, we got a lot of things spoiled recently with Max and Michael that were on the channel where we talked a lot about Rising Tensions and some of the things that we're going to see. I did some zooming and skewing and stuff so we can see some of the Klingons that are in this spread. Obviously Gowron, we already know about Gowron. It looks like on the top row we have the House of Duras with Duras himself, and then Lursa and B'Etor on the top row. As we go down into some of the lower Klingons, I don't know if I exactly recognize everyone on there. There are a lot of Klingons that I could be. I don't know if this is this, or I don't know if this is this person or that person. Some of these might be some generics as well, which is certainly possible. But that's kind of a better look at some of the Klingons that are coming. I will point out you will not see Martok in this particular expansion because he appears to be in Glory and Zeal. And that's okay because we're going to see more of Martok later. So if you were expecting, because one of the things I think it was said is that this is kind of going to sort of be a who's who of Klingons. And I'll notice that there's certain Klingons I don't see. I noticed I didn't see Martok. I noticed I didn't see Kalar. Although this doesn't necessarily mean that this is every single person from the expansion, but this is certainly some of them. What you can see a little bit more clear is some of the Federation crew. We already know that Riker is going to be in here, but we have some nice clear previews of some of the rest of the TNG Enterprise bridge crew. For example, we can see Data clearly in there, Geordi LaForge clearly, Deanna Troi, and Dr. Beverly Crusher in there as well, which is going to get us pretty much all of our senior staff. There's definitely certain characters that I think people would like to see that aren't shown here, but this doesn't mean that they aren't here. I don't know. I don't expect to see Tasha Yar, even though she's, It's because of the timeline, the time frame. I think there's always room to go back and add that. I will point out that Beverly Crusher is in her kind of late Enterprise attire, in her kind of, this is definitely a post Captain Jellicoe version of Deanna Troi. I was really kind of hoping she would have been in her purple outfit, or in her kind of sexier outfit or whatever. And this way, when they eventually come out with Captain Jellicoe, then they can also come out with a promoted, because she became trained for bridge officer or whatever, so they could do a higher ranking commander level Deanna Troi, like that came with him, because again, you could do multiple versions of certain characters. So they do a commander level Deanna Troi with the new outfit, and so you could have maybe a 1 or 2 points more expensive, and now she's got different skills. I thought that would have been a cool way to do different versions of her, before and after Jellicoe or whatever. But as far as the timeline, this does make sense. And so that's some of the previews that we get, plus the titles, but we don't really get to see what they do. And then there's also this little thing, and we'll go back, right? It's, if you look at the table right above me here, there's a lot of little things you can kind of zoom in on, and that's pretty cool. So let's zoom in a little bit more. This there appears to be like some kind of twin dial cardboard there with a looks like maybe something that resembles a ship base. And it looks almost like the faces of a clock. So I think this has to do with cloaking. I'm guessing, when you cloak, you replace your ship base with that thing, and you kind of dial in which direction you are from that. So you're either here, or here. I'm guessing that's kind of going to be roughly how cloaking works. It's we know you're in a bubble this big, but are you above here, there, or below? And then maybe this is you flip it face down or flip it face up, and I'm cloaked, so you don't know where I'm at. I'm like, I know you're somewhere over here. That's kind of what I'm guessing. It seems pretty cool, though. So again, we're supposed to be getting more information about that soon, so we'll stand by on that. Let's talk about the even bigger news here is Glory and Zeal. Now, this is farther out. This is going to be the introduction of the Cardassians into the game. Now, my first thought when I looked at this is like, oh man, we're just getting one galore in there? Or is there maybe more than one? There's not. There's only one. And then we're getting a shuttle as well. Now, granted, we do know that the Cardassians would sometimes arm their shuttles. We know that sometimes they would have lots of super top secret weapons tech on there, and pretend that it was an unarmed shuttle. I go back to the TNG episode where Benjamin Maxwell had taken the Phoenix and was attacking Klingons like crazy, and of course there were, and he was most certainly right with what he was doing. This was from the demo there, and we can go a little bit further down. They're aiming for February 2026, with pre-orders to be due from retailer orders to be due in January. So, if that holds true, that would be a great timeline. It looks like it'll MSRP at $99.99. So, very cool, very cool. And this was called a storyline expansion, apparently. There's a side art of the box here. You do see we're getting Gul Dukat, and we are getting Martok for our Klingons, because we are also getting another Burrell-class bird of prey and a Negvar warship. So the back of the box is really where it's at. This is a great shot, by the way. We're seeing so much on the back of the box here. We're seeing this looks like this is certainly going to be almost the who's who of the Cardassian faction, as well as plenty of Klingons too. As well as Klingons, we see Damar there. We see Dukat. We see Zial. We see the Dahar Master Corps from the Klingons. Of course, we see. There's a Klingon. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's certain Cardassians I don't see, and I don't see my favorite Cardassian. Gul Dukat is certainly a lot of people's favorite. My favorite Cardassian is Gul Evek. Gul Evek. He was in two TNG episodes, which made him the first recurring Klingon, and I thought that was super, super cool. So Gul Evek is my favorite. Now, if he's not in here, that's okay, because I do expect there to be more Cardassians in the future, especially with the scars of oppression. I think we'll see, of course, more when it comes to that. But yeah, we're getting a Negvar, we're getting a Burrell class bird of prey. So if you were worried about, there's only one bird of prey and rising tensions, and you were thinking, well, I might want to get the double ship pack, yeah, maybe you should. The Galore class cruiser and then the Gromal type freighter are the 4 ships that we're going to be getting. If we zoom in on the text here, it says, "Battle rages across the stars. The Klingon Empire's sudden incursion into Cardassian space threw the Alpha Quadrant into chaos, but fell short of conquering the Cardassian Union fully. Now, grim days of attrition settle over the battlefront. Cardassian and Klingon patrols clash along the jagged borders of the controlled systems, each side seeking key military, logistical, and diplomatic victories that might turn the tide of war in their favor. Glory and Zeal expands the game of Star Trek into the unknown, introducing the Cardassian Union and providing new forces for the Klingon Empire. This expansion brings the Negvar class, a powerful flagship to the Klingons, solidifying them as a standalone faction in the quadrant. The Cardassians present a new and uncertain threat as they deploy the Galore-class cruisers and Gromal-type military freighters to the front lines. These ships provide new and varied assets to deploy either as mercenaries or as their own faction in the game, and may well tip the balance of power in the Dominion War. Recruit new officers and requisition new equipment for your task forces. Take on a new campaign arc and incident missions designed to test each faction's political strategy, exploratory innovation, and resolve to fight. You will need every ounce of your resourcefulness to win. What will you sacrifice for victory?" All right, so all of that to say, so the interesting thing is, it seems like they know that this is kind of you're not getting a whole lot of Cardassians in this, so maybe you'll run them as mercenaries. I don't know exactly how that works. It sounds like basically an extension of Sway, or maybe they will be doing something else. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe there's missions where they can be like a third player or something like that, or I don't know. I guess we're going to wait and see. Does come with one Negvar, one Brel, one Galore class, one Gromal freighter, 4 ships and pegs, 24 officer cards, 53 assorted gameplay cards, 4 mission cards, a campaign book, 3 stealth trackers, and assorted gameplay tokens. All right, so, which of course is all of that right there, which I should have had open when I was reading it. Let's talk about some of these officers we're seeing for just a moment. So we do have art for Damar there, drinking his Kanar. Damar with the Kanar. I like Damar. It was what an interesting character. What an interesting arc for that character. And we've got Gul Madred here as the kind of like one of the leaders here. Gul Madred, the famous "there are 4 lights." I saw a really funny comment in Discard is when they talked about the ship there. There are 4 warships in this box, even though you could argue that the freighter doesn't count, but maybe he's saying it does. But yes, and then we've got Kor, we've got Martok up there, and then we have a Klingon female. And now this Klingon female, who will not be in Rising Tensions, looks to me like Kurok. Kurok was from the Star Trek The Next Generation episode where Dr. Crusher was hosting a scientific sort of demonstration of Dr. Rega's metaphasic shield, and it was very much like a mystery whodunit type of episode. And she played the Klingon scientist, and she was kind of scorned by her people because science and warp field theory and shields and all that kind of stuff wasn't really, the most honorable thing. She wasn't hailed as like a hero amongst the Klingon people, and the fact of, that they didn't really, people doubted her research or whatever, and she, wanted to make a name for herself. She could be, now it looks like it could be Crabbok. Could be a generic character, but it looks like Crabbok to me. Again, it's hard to see. I've zoomed in, and their names are kind of little bit blurry, so it can be hard to make some of those out. But looks very cool. Yeah, and this is going to be a who's who. I don't see Garrick. There's a lot of Cardassians I'm not seeing here. I want to go back to something else. There's a Cardassian female at the top left here. For her faction, it looks like that's Cardassian and Dominion, right? So I think that's one of the ways that the Cardassians are going to fit into the game a little bit better, is because you already have the Dominion faction, and they were one of the first to ally with the Dominion. So it works, and that could work well for both the Cardassian and the Dominion, the Cardassians and the Dominion. There's so much. There's so many Cardassians to pull from, so many really great ones. And I don't expect to get every Cardassian, because I do think the follow-up expansion after this, the Scars of Occupation, will have probably, I think it's going to be more, right? If we've got the Galore here, then I think that leaves a little bit of room for some Bajorans to show up. I think that definitely works. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think we're going to see more, Cardassian ships in the next expansion? I think that's definitely. I think a Keldon would make sense. In a Bajoran, maybe a Keldon and a Galore, so this way you get your two Galores, right? Because they're like the most common. The Keldon's a little bit bigger. I don't know how big they'll really be. Like, I think I would wager that it's going to be a medium ship. I don't really see it as being a large. I mean, you could probably make it a large if you wanted to, but it looks to me like a medium. It looks like we've got basically two smalls, a medium, and a large in this box. That's kind of what it looks like to me. And you could probably say that you could. I mean, the Keldon's not that much bigger, but you could make the Keldon a large if you want, or it could just be, a little bit more oomph to it, but still another medium, and that might be part of the Cardassians faction, as maybe they don't have any larges. Really depends. There's nothing that says that I need a large or a medium or whatever. It's just whatever base is most appropriate for the size of the ship, I think. But it's pretty cool. There's definitely a lot of Cardassians I'd love to see. There's some of the best episodes ever, like Duet. A lot of Cardassian featured episodes of Deep Space Nine were just absolutely incredible. Mwah! So, exciting stuff. There's cool Rising Tension stuff coming. There's cool Glory and Zeal stuff coming. And who knows, man? Maybe within the next 6 months, we'll start seeing leaks of Scars of Occupation. And then who knows what comes after that. Very exciting time to be a Star Trek fan, and very exciting time to be a tabletop gamer. Let me know what you think and what you're looking forward to. So what are some characters that you're hoping to see in these expansions? And if you haven't played Star Trek Into the Unknown yet, definitely check it out. Head over to widskids.com and just Google Star Trek Into the Unknown, and the core set is available now. Amazing stuff. Very cool game. And that's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all. You can't take the sky from me. And always wash your socks.